Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dancers Doing Stuff. We have a special guest today. She still doesn't have a name, so if you have any ideas, definitely put them in the comments. As always, if you're here watching live, we love to chat with you, so definitely comment. We can see what you're typing. We can share it on the screen for everyone else to get involved, and we love to just connect and make this an open conversation with everyone. Also, a last piece of housekeeping, I'm wearing my boss and friend Duran Singleton's sweatshirt. His album comes out this week on the 12th, so make sure you check it out. It's called It's My Time, Duran Singleton, Duran I Am on Instagram. Just a little shout out to Duran. He is currently teaching children at the dance studio, so he's not seeing this, but hopefully he sees it later. So today I am talking with the amazing Melissa Westlake, and let me read her bio. Let's see if I know how to read. You know, every week it's a struggle. We're trying to learn to read. You know, maybe by the time I'm 30, I will learn how to read. So, Melissa is a ballet dancer turned commercial hip-hop dancer turned actress turned host. Melissa is 28 years old, and she is a powerhouse full of love, laughter, hype, and a whole lot of woman, which you will see in her video. She goes off. So let me get back into it. She prides herself on letting others shine the way they were intended and is interested in stories of what makes a person who they are. From spreading positivity, self-love, and strength, Melissa wants to make a positive difference in the world and let people know that they are beautiful no matter who they are, where they come from, and what they decide to do, all while sharing a cup of wine. Cheers. So, spoiler, Melissa, she is a dancer. She's amazing. Like, powerhouse is the perfect word to describe her because she is like a Red Bull energy drink come to life. She is just like goes for it full out, full on in every aspect of her life, and she has an amazing show that I'm really excited to talk to her about, where she has been interviewing people and talking about dance and also with wine. So kind of like how I do with crafts, she does with wine. And if you know me, you know I rarely drink. I know nothing about alcohol, especially wine. I think it tastes like feet. It freaks me out. But I'm about to be 30, and so I thought maybe I should probably learn something about this just to like be cultured and fancy in my later years in life. So there's a chance that I might be learning about this wine here and ingesting some of it. So today might get a little crazy, but we're always safe and appropriate here as well. But as you know, I always love to hype up my guests. So let's watch this awesome video that's going to make you want to get up and just start bouncing around in your house because it's cold here in New York and this makes me feel warm and sunny. So let's get into it. Yes, so fun. Okay, let's bring her in. Yay! Thank you for being here. And
thank you for having me.
I managed to not have you muted, which is like the first time in the history of this show that I've brought someone on and they're not muted. So applause for myself as well. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're doing kind of two crafts today. One of them is a
Yeah.
drinking craft. Well, one of them is a drinking
Sorry.
craft, and one of them is drinking. Crazy.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be doing like a kind of cheat way to make one of those cute wine glass, like what's it even called? Like a charm.
It's just a wine charm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like so that if you ever happen to like be with friends one day or like go to a party again, before 2022 maybe, this way if you all have the same glass, you put your little charm on and so you don't share drinks because corona and other germs. We're now very aware of germs. So
That
no
part.
sharing glasses. Yeah, so I'm using a really cheap way of doing this. These are some like old crummy hoop earrings that I have from Claire's. And
Yeah.
all I'm gonna do
Claire's.
and all I'm really gonna do is just put some beads on them and make it look cute, and then boom, you just put it right around this glass. And this glass, see, I don't even own wine glasses. That's the thing. This is from a cider distillery that I went to and mostly only ate donuts
Perfect.
at. And I don't know if I was supposed to take it. This may be stolen, and I am sorry to the distillery if I wasn't supposed to take it. I don't know how I got it, but the donuts were great. Um, so yeah, and then you have some supplies over there too, and we're just gonna be
Yeah,
doing
I'm
it
just
up.
gonna use an elastic cord. I couldn't
Amazing.
find any of the wiring, so I was like, you know what? We can like tie it around the glass,
See, innovative.
just to make it right. I mean, that's
I
what
love it.
2021 is all about.
Right? Like time isn't real. Not like we just make it work,
Exactly.
you know?
Right?
So while
Feel
we
like
do this, I would
yeah.
love, love, love to hear a little bit about your story with dance, where you're from, how you got to where you are. Let's hear it.
Absolutely. So, dance is something that like has kind of always run on my dad's side of the family, at least from like the history that I know, like stemming from my grandmother to my aunt. Backstory: my dad is one of 8 kids, and um, his one sister she ended up becoming a rock cat. They got
No
that tall gene, a little
way.
bit taller. And so I'm the first granddaughter of so they
So
were like,
cool.
let's put her in some dance. Let's see what happens. And I kind of really stuck to ballet. And I mean, I've been dancing since I could walk. It's one of those like cute little stories of like, did the tutus, did the things, did like the, little and plie and tendu, you know.
Yeah.
um, and so I kind of just stuck with ballet my entire life. I never really knew what hip hop was. I used to think that I think it was like around the time that the Step Up movies came out. Um, and I used to be like, oh yeah, I could do that. And it's like, yeah, no, girl, you look a hot mess. Like you wear
Me.
ballerina
Oh
buns.
my God, literally me, literally me.
And so yeah, I mean, I would do summer programs all the time. My first summer program was actually SUNY Purchase. It was like my first ever sleepaway camp too in the summer.
Ooh.
And I was just like so happy to go. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And from then on, I kind of just kept doing different summer programs. Like I did the Joffrey a lot. I did Hubbard Street a little bit for one summer, and then did the Alvin Ailey summer, which basically like gave me the biggest wake up call of my life. Like I went home crying every single day, and I was like, I don't want to dance anymore.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then it just got to a point where like my parents kind of set me down, and they were like, listen, like you gotta like, are you gonna do this? Because if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. If you're not gonna do this, figure something else out, right? And I think it was right around high school, and I was lucky enough to be invited to train in New York. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. And I talked to my high school teachers, and I was just like, I know it's senior year of high school, but I don't necessarily want to be here anymore. And I want to go dance. Like, that's what I want to do with my life. And so they figured out a way for me to finish high school while I was training full time in the city. And that's kind of where
Wow.
like the journey really began. Yeah. And it was just kind of one of those things that like, I never looked back. And that's something in my life too. It's like, I never really look back at choices. I kind of just did it. And next thing I know, I'm like training full time in the city. And then I'm like, all right, but I got to go to college. Cause you know, like education was very important in my family. And I'm like, but I don't really want to go to college. So then I ended up doing like I got my associates online. Um, and while I was dancing, which was really, really intense because like when you're doing your associates, you're on scholarship, you have to take a minimum of like, I think it's like 16 credits. So in order for me to graduate on time, I was taking like 16 to 20 credits a semester and then like dancing full
Wow. And
time. And
this
then I
was
had a
all
job.
like online school before it was the
Oh, girl,
only
yeah.
thing that
But
we
the
could
only thing you
do.
could do.
You were ahead
Yeah.
of the time.
I mean, I also just get so bored in a classroom. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Mm.
why am I paying a teacher to read me something that I can read by myself? I mean, of course you have questions, but it's kind of just like, I've just always been one of those, like, I'll just figure it out. And if I don't figure it out, then I'll ask for help, you know?
Mm.
Um, and so after I got my associates, I was like, you know what? Let me take a year off. I was in the height of my ballet career. Like I was really pushing for like just bigger things, you know, I'm like, okay, like I started getting comfortable and I'm like, what can I do? Where can I go? What's the next step? And I ended up getting a seasonal contract with one of my favorite companies in New York ever. And sadly, that is where I got injured. That is where as dancers, we're told that, especially like in the concert world, we're able to really push through injuries and really just dance through them. And so I remember coming out of a jump. The choreography was to land straight kneed. I don't understand why that was the choreography, but so I landed straight knee and ended up rolling my ankle. And, we still had about 6 hours of rehearsal left. So I was just like, oh, you know what, I can keep doing it. It was
Right.
probably the worst decision of my life because like the next morning, it was black, it was blue. I called my mother. I was like crying hysterically. I'm pretty sure my ankle was hanging on by my Achilles.
Oh my
She like
God.
drove from New Jersey. I was living in Washington Heights at the time. And I'm like, I need to go to the doctor. I need to figure this out. She like comes with my nephew with crutches because I can't walk. And I can just remember the doctor being like, you're out for at least another year and a half. And I'm just like,
Oh, I have
what am I
chills.
going to do with my life?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It's just, especially like, it's just, that's all that's all you want in your life.
Yeah.
And so I went into this huge, deep depression, and it was just like, what am I going to do? So I stayed at my parents for a little while, and then finally, like, I ended up going back to my apartment in the city. And I stumbled in randomly. I think this was after like a year and a half and then another half a year of rehab. I stumbled into a random Toca Tuesday at Cielo.
Oh my
And
God.
I just remember, I'm like, if anyone knows what Toca Tuesdays are, it was the vibe. It was everywhere, everything that you needed in your life. And I just remember going in and I'm like seeing all these people do all these crazy moves. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so cool. Like, can I do it? I'm like, I want to learn. And someone like pushed me into the middle of a cipher. And I was like,
I would have peed my pants.
child, I was doing arabesques and fouettes.
Me. Oh my God, me.
I was like, what am I doing? This doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
I forgot who it was that pulled me aside. It was one of the house dancers, and he's like, listen, you're like, that was so cool. Can you teach me that? I'm like, I'll teach you if you teach me. So that's where I ended up learning like a lot of my fundamentals of hip hop. And from there, everything kind of just grew. Like, I was training at EXPG first and at, what's it called, at PMT Studios for a little while in New York. And then finally someone was like, oh, you should go to BDC. You're such a great commercial dancer. I'm like, I don't know what commercial is. I'm like, I just want to like learn how to break dance. And they're like, no, you'd be really good at it. And I'm like, okay, sure.
Amazing.
And I remember going into Rob Taylor's class and I'm like, yeah, Rob, I'm a ballet dancer. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. We're going to wave and do all this stuff. And he's like, you're going to boogaloo. And I was like, what's that boogaloo?
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, oh my God, this girl's nuts. Like,
Yeah.
so, and that's kind of just where things grew from there. It just was like, I was so dedicated to wanting, I was hungry, you know, like I wanted to know what commercial dance was. I wanted to learn what street dance was, or this and heels and this. And so that's where it kind of brought me here to LA now, you know, I'm just like
Yeah.
rolling with the punches. Sorry, that was like
When
a really
did
long story
you
for no reason.
No, no, I'm loving it. When did you move to LA? Cuz it was a few
So
years ago, or cuz I remember
actually,
I
it's
used to see
only,
you in David Thomas all the time.
oh
And
my
I
God.
would see you at BDC like all the time, cuz like that's where
Yeah.
I just always am at BDC, so I'm always like, "Oh, she's got so much energy. I want to be like her." I'm tired. She looks like she's never tired.
I actually moved officially to LA like a year and a half to 2 years ago. I did like a 3 month
Wow.
trial, so I don't really count that. So it's only literally been like a year and a half. And also my first like half of the year, I was traveling a lot. I was back and forth. I
Mm.
was on jobs like here and there. So I never really like settled in LA until about a year and a half ago.
Was it hard to move there? Like, because you had your family really close being in New Jersey, like, even coming to New York,
Yeah.
it's not so bad. Was it hard for you and your family, like, making that decision to go all the way across the country?
Honestly, I'm very fortunate, you know, because my family is very supportive of everything that I've been wanting to do in my life. And when I told them that I was moving to LA, they were kind of just like, okay. Like they're like, you know, like that's Melissa, right? Like Melissa, she just goes. She just does what she does. And if LA is what's calling her, I mean, of course they were like, are you sure? Like, you know, everyone's here, you know, but like at the same time, I'm like, no, LA's where I'm going. I'm gonna graduate college and I'm gonna go. And they're just
Yeah.
like, okay, you know, so
Nice.
yeah.
What was one of the reasons that you wanted to go to LA? What drew you there?
I honestly, I had been hearing a lot about LA. I had just been hearing about like, oh my God, like you'd be so good there. You know, like you have such a commercial look. You know, you're ethnically ambiguous. And
Oh boy.
yeah, and you know, you would just do so well there. And I'm like, it's not that I listened to everybody's opinions. What it was is that it sparked my interest, right? And I'm also a planner. So I like to test run a lot of things. So I, you know, did a 3 month test run in LA and I was just like, let me see what it's actually all about. Let me see what the hype is about. Because, you know, people were talking about the classes, the training, the this, the that. And I was like, all right. And in 3 months, I set out to like just do a few things and I actually ended up exceeding my list of what I wanted to do and and it just kind of
Cool.
felt right. You
Yeah.
know, like it was one of those moves where I was just like, this is where I have to be right now in this moment.
Yeah.
And I went back home and I ended up staying in New York because there was like an audition there or something. But I was there for a little while. But it got to the point where I was just like, I need to be back in LA. I need to make LA my home for a little bit in order to just grow as an artist. And because New York was getting to me a little bit. So I was just
Mm.
ready for a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. What has been one of your favorite dance jobs or opportunities that you've had, whether it was in New York or LA?
Oh my God.
You could
I
name a
don't know.
few if you want. If you,
I was gonna
I
say
know it's hard
I
to
love
pick.
all of my jobs that I've done. I think one of my favorites I would say is it was my first job in LA, and I remember I think it was like I had just come off an RTA weekend with Muam. And, you know, we talked a lot about just like, you know, choreography and like, you know, knowing your stuff and doing what you got to do. And I remember like I had been in LA for, I think it was only like a couple months. And my friend, she choreographs for a couple of Latin artists, but one of the girls, she couldn't get back to LA for the show. So I'm literally laying in my room, and my friend comes to me and she's like, "Can you do this show in 2 hours?" I was like, "What?" She was just like, "It's only like 9 songs." What? Oh yeah, by the way, it's at Staples Center and it's the Sold Out Latin show. Okay.
Oh,
So
casual. So
literally we had
casual.
so casual. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And like I feel like I didn't even really blink. I kind of was just like, yeah. Like I'm literally in the shower and she like opens the shower door. She's like, "Can you be ready for rehearsal in 20 minutes?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, you have to learn the whole show." And I learned a whole show in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, got on stage, did a tech, and then performed that night. And I literally,
Wow.
I don't know. And that was the moment where I was just kind of like, what we do is so insane. And it was a moment that kind of really just assured me that, like, this is what I want to do in my life because this is the exact moment that I had been training for, right? Just to be able to be on the stage and pick up choreography that quickly and just live my best life, you know? So I
Yeah.
think that was definitely one of my top favorite jobs. Like, definitely top three for sure.
And if you could do that, you can do anything. Like,
I mean,
so I hope that gave you a big boost of confidence. Like, as your first job in LA, if you achieve that,
yeah,
then like you're ready. Because
yeah,
I'm imagining. I mean, obviously, I've only ever been to LA for like 2 weeks at a time, or like short
yeah.
little bursts. And like I had actually thought, oh, maybe like last summer before COVID happened, I was like, maybe I'll like just go out for the summer and like try and work at like a day camp or something. Because for me, it's hard for me to like think about moving because I don't have a job there, and like I have such a great job here working at a studio, so it's like for me mentally I'm like I would have to have a reason to go out there for a long period of time. Like I am not like you. I can't just like pick up and like go for it.
Is
Like
it
I
your
get too
reason to like
scared.
dance though?
I know. This isn't an interview about me. but but yeah,
Oh yeah.
I imagine that like it seems so much more intimidating. I mean, I'm sure New York seems intimidating, but because I've been here
Yeah.
for so long, like LA just seems like a whole different world, a whole different ball game with there's so many amazing dancers out there, but there's also so many more jobs and opportunities. So it maybe that
Hmm.
balances, but I feel like if that was your first job in LA, then that would help a lot if you achieve that.
I think it's just, you know what it is? I feel like if you, and I've always stood by this because I love New York so much, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. And LA, yes, it's intimidating, but it's only intimidating if you step in front of your own way. You know, like
Hmm.
we're in an industry that they're constantly, we're constantly being judged. We're constantly being like told no. We're constantly being told negative things that when you go to New York, I feel like it builds that backbone in order for you to go to different places and to stand your ground and to be like, I understand that you're saying no, but this is what I have to offer. And what I have to offer is going to change your mind. And if it doesn't change your mind, then it wasn't meant for you and it wasn't meant for me. And it's on to the next one, you know?
Wow.
So.
That was mic drop moment. I love that. Okay, well, let's get into our first game.
Yes.
Also, have
Oh,
you
yes.
started your craft? I already
I
finished
did.
mine.
I
I'll
did.
show off mine. Oh, yours is so cute. Oh, wait, you have like
Oh,
legit charms.
I'm going to send you one. I'll send
Oh
you
my
one.
god,
It's
I
like so
love
cute.
this. And I also love mail.
I love
Here's
that.
mine. Mine, I like the sound it makes. Okay, it's like ASMR.
I love it.
Okay, so we're on to our first game. If anyone is watching out there, feel free to interact with us. The game is dun, 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 dun. Would you rather? Okay, so if you're out there watching, and even if you're watching after it's live, we'd love to know what you would rather. So let's see
Yeah.
what these crazy questions are. I'm going to pick some random ones. Okay. Would you? Oh wait, I think I did that one recently. Let me get it. Let's throw that to the side. I need to start like asking people for some because I've done so many so far. Okay. Would you rather have an eternal mystery curse placed on you by a wizard, or have to sleep upside down hanging from a tree branch whatever the weather.
I'd rather hang upside down.
You don't want a mystery curse?
Mystery curse?
I think I already have a mystery curse.
What?
2020 was a mystery curse.
Honestly, I mean, if it's that kind of curse, I mean, maybe. We'll see.
Okay. Would you rather get bitten by a dog every time you go outside or have slugs for fingers?
That's a hard one.
I know. I mean, maybe it's not like a big bite. Maybe it doesn't like break blood.
Still, no. I mean, I'm pretty sure they mean like break blood. What's it called? Maybe slugs. I think that'd be kind of cool because then you could like be like my precious. Well, just like
Maybe it would like help you get booked because it's like so unique. Hand
Girl!
commercials.
Hand commercials. I
Hand
just got an
model.
audition for like some kind of circusy things. So
You would
to
for
do, like,
sure get booked for a circus thing if you had slugs for fingers.
with slugs. Oh my god! Now I really wish I had them.
Okay, last one. Let me see. Randomly pick. I try to like mix them up a little so we don't get repeats.
Yeah.
Ooh. Would you rather feel like you're sitting on pins every time you sit down or have fish gills in your neck? I don't know if that means you have to be underwater to breathe.
I think that
I think you can still breathe, but you still have gills. Like you have both.
I think that'd be kind of cool because I love the water. I'm a Scorpio, so like I love to
I'm
be
a
in the water.
Pisces.
Girl! I think I would take the gills. Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you wanted to
Yeah.
hide it, like you could have your hair, you could wear a turtleneck.
The hair, the turtlenecks. I mean,
sure
I
you
think
could,
that's
like,
a great
make-
quality.
Because gills, they don't stick out, right? They're just like slits.
Yeah, they're just slits. I mean,
Yeah.
if my future husband doesn't like it, then there's other men. Plenty of fish in the sea.
You could find a literal fish with the gills.
Okay, Nemo. I'd find me a Nemo.
Amazing. Well, it is time. We're already kooky.
Yeah.
Passions outside a dance. Let's get into it.
Listen,
Let's
drinking
start
that
right
wine.
with
Yes.
this. Let's start
Yes.
right with this situation. Do I need, I don't even own a wine thing.
Opener?
Yeah, what is it just called a wine opener?
You could just call it a wine opener.
I think this is a twist top because it's not the most
This is what you want to use,
fancy
yeah.
thing. Okay. Oh,
That's
I'm
all right. It doesn't have
twisting
to
the
be
whole
fancy.
thing. Okay, so obviously we've hinted at it. Wine is a
Yes.
passion for you outside dance. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, you got it? There you go.
I'm weak. Oh my goodness. Okay, well you talk. I'm gonna work on this.
Yeah, so wine actually became a passion of mine actually because of my ex-boyfriend.
Scandal.
He would take me, he was a mixologist in Manhattan, and we would just have access to all of these wine tastings, and he would just take me along, and I'm like, he's over here like, oh, the subtle notes of vanilla and oak, and I'm like, woo! Let's just drink!
I love it.
And he got to the point where he's like, Melissa, you have to spit some of them out. And I'm like, but that's alcohol abuse.
You're supposed to like just like go like, right?
Yeah, and then just like, I mean, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But I believe in drinking it, I believe.
They went through all that trouble making it.
Yes.
No. Did they still step on wine? Is that just fake? Or
It's
are
like
there really?
grape stomping?
That's
You
like
can make,
people really
grape
do
stomping.
that
It's still
still.
a thing. Actually,
Did
I'm dying
someone's
to do it.
feet-
I've never done it.
Someone's feet were on this?
No.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I don't know how I feel about that. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. So
Okay.
yeah, so I got involved with wine because of him. And then when I moved to LA, I I had always wanted to like kind of do my own thing outside of dance. I have such a passion of like getting to know people, but also being in front of the camera. And so Wine with Mel actually was a year in the making. Like it took me a year because I also have my psychology degree. And so I kind of wanted to incorporate that in some way. And so I was just like, what am I going to do? And then one day I was sitting, I can't remember, I think it was like on the beach and like, I had like my little to-go cup. I was like, why don't I just have a show? And I could just call it Wine with Mel because people want to drink wine with me anyways.
I love that. It's such a good name. I love it so much.
And next thing I knew, the new year, 2020 hit early on. And I just literally was like, I'm going to do it. And again, that whole, like, I can't like just keep writing it. I have to do it. So I hit up my friend Alex, who is my producer, videographer, and editor. And
so cool. You're like, so official.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed.
And I was like, Alex, because he was just getting into videography. And I was like, I want to do this show. Do you want to do it with me? Let's learn together. And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay. I was like, so what do I need? I was like, I don't really know where to start. He's like, well, maybe you should have a logo. I was like, yeah, I should probably have a logo. So then like I hit up a couple people for like logo design, and like little by little it just kind of started coming together, and it's evolved into something so much bigger than I ever thought that it would in just a year. And I'm just so excited for where the show is going because it's not just dancers anymore, right? So we have actors, influencers, we have fitness enthusiasts, we're going to have models. I'm trying to bring in people of like, just like different work areas, like even just like sex workers, to come on the show and break stigmas for them. And I want the show to break boundaries. I want people to feel comfortable coming on the show and having a platform to talk about them. Yeah, and of course, while drinking wine, who doesn't like wine? If you don't like wine, it's fine. We got non-alcoholic wine. We've got some scotch. We've got some tequila, some vodka. What do you want? So
I love it. That is so cool. I love the whole concept of it, and especially how professional and like serious you're taking it right from the start. Like that is so cool that you have a producer, and like I think that that's so true. Like when you just, I guess. They say like, it's I don't like fake it till you make it, but like that kind of idea of like where you just go for it and you do it like the full real way instead of doing it like me, I'm just doing this little thing. Like, no, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And 1,000%. I love that. Yeah. I love that much.
Thank you.
So
yes,
let's start drinking this wine, and then I have way more questions for you just about
absolutely
everything. But tell me what to do. I don't even know.
Okay. No, I mean it's fine. You just pour it. Just pour it. Like so, I have a different wine than you. I have the 14 Hands Winery, but you have the Cupcake Red Velvet, right?
I do.
Yes.
Does 14 hands mean 14 hands squeezed each grape?
I mean, I wish. I hope. Maybe. I don't know. I should probably like ask them. Like,
is there how much wine is? What do you? Okay.
So it just depends on the person. I mean, technically, you shouldn't go more than. This is a stemless glass. I mean, you could always. Yeah, that's good, right?
Am I fancy now?
Yeah.
I'm almost 30.
30's never looked any better.
Okay.
I mean, I personally just like dump it, but we'll stay a little classy, even though I just refilled my glass. I mean, you can you can like kind of twirl it around, and always hold it by the stem of the glass. They always say sometimes to hold it here is like not good because of the, just because like the warmth of your hands and stuff like that. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, just go for it. I mean, just try it, right? Like what are some things that you taste? Like when
Is that not how you do it? That's not the way.
That's how I do it.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
You got it. And just let me know what you taste.
I taste poison.
Is it like really sweet?
Not in my sense of sweet, but I think for red wine, I'm told this is very sweet. Okay, I'll try. I really just took a little tiny baby sip.
It's She doesn't like it.
It's not as bad as some wines I have tried in the past.
Yeah.
I taste old grapes. What am I supposed to be tasting?
So
I'm already drunk.
She doesn't drink, guys. She doesn't drink.
But I'm legally allowed to. It's just I am boring.
Yes. Basically, the red velvet it's more of a sweeter wine, right? And so they call it a blend, right? So it's a blend of the Merlot, the Zinfandel, and the Petit Syrah grapes. So when you look at the name of a wine, right? So Merlot, that's just the type of grape it is. You know, you're like,
so you
what?
you could get like do you eat the same grapes that you would make wine from, or no, they don't taste good?
I personally wouldn't.
Interesting.
I don't know if you can. That's a question for like someone who like
a great
has,
person.
You know, yeah. But it's, you know, because the whole point of wine is like, what's it called? Oh my god, I'm like losing my train of thought.
I distracted you with all my craziness.
No, because so what it is, so you have the grape, right? And then you have sugar and yeast, right, in wine. So sugar and yeast equals alcohol. So you have the grapes and then the sugar and the yeast and the alcohol. So that's what makes the wine, right? And it's just like there's different types of wines and like a different type of fruit smells, but it just depends on the grapes, right? So in the wine that you're drinking, you should taste like a little bit of like a jammy kind of taste a little bit. You'll have like cherry, I would say like blackberry. What else? Maybe like a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of mocha.
I tasted
like,
the chocolate a little that time.
Yeah.
And I think it tastes like old jam, like jam that's gone bad.
Yeah, so it's jammy, right? And so that's that wine. And it's just, you know, it just depends, right? So you have red wines that are, they're more like catered to like the berries and the cherries and all that stuff. You know, a white wine could be catered to more like citrusy stuff, like lemons, grapefruits, just because of the grapes and also just where they are in location and then the time and all these things come into play when making a bottle of wine, like the location and the place. Or sorry, it's the same thing. Location and time of year, I should say. So I'm like, wait, that's the same place.
Cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So is it true that you one day have hopes to do something big with wine? I feel like you dropped this little tidbit, but I don't know if it's true.
I do. I actually really hope. So for one of my hopes is that the show gets picked up by a network, because I would love to expand it into way bigger things like Wine with Mel on the Go. And I want to make wine fun, right? Like when you think of wine, you think, oh, so bougie and so and listen, that's what wine is. Bougie, wine is classy, but wine can also be for the 20-something-year-olds that they're just trying liquor for the first time, and you can have some fun with it, right? It doesn't have to be serious.
That's me.
So I really want to just give it a niche and give it a market of fun, youthfulness, like happy hour, like casual happy hour. And I will eventually would love, which actually I'm in the works of right now, fingers crossed, of having my own wine, like producing my own wine, that is. Like kind of, you know,
cool.
I would love to go harvesting to see exactly how much work really goes into, because I feel like before I have my own wine, that's what I need to do. Just to really see the hard work that goes into it. But I would love to have my own brand of rosé, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir, just like the whole line by the time I'm 33. So I would love for that to happen.
I bet it's going to happen. That is so cool. That is so cool. I'm so excited. Maybe I will drink your wine.
I'll send you a case. Don't worry.
I'll wait. I won't drink another drop of wine until it's yours.
Perfect. Got 5 years. 5 years.
Amazing. So, what are some of your other passions besides wine and besides dance?
Besides wine and besides dance, honestly, passions, like, honestly, I just love having fun. My family, I'm very passionate about my family. They're my number one. They're my backbone. They're any and everything that I do for them. Every single step that I take is for them, and it is for myself too. But I also love journaling. I love writing. I love twerking. I love, shaking my butt. I love being, I feel like I'm a nudist at heart. So I like being naked. I'm like a hippie, so.
Love it.
I'm just very passionate about things that awaken my spirit and things that just make me feel alive and vibrant. And yeah.
That sounds like such a wonderful life. That is like how I wish everyone could I wish you could bottle like your energy and joy and like put it in the wine. That would be like the ultimate wine ever.
That would be like a crazy like huge champagne just like,
yeah. The kind that they use in the music videos, and then you dance and twerk at the same
time. Love it.
So cool. Okay, well, it is time for let me get this. My special questions. Okay, so I'm going to pick one randomly from each color, and then we'll see. They're loosely color-coded based on...
Oh, sorry.
I don't even know what they're based on anymore. Literally, those 3 sips have gotten me tipsy. So
yes, because you don't drink, right?
I'm crazy. I'm so crazy. And we have someone in the audience, my friend, so dying to see me drink the wine. Thanks, Natalie, for being a supporter. Okay, let's see what questions we got. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
These are pretty good. There's nothing too crazy. Okay, pick a color.
Purple.
What characteristics make a person successful? This is kind of a deep one to start with.
Yeah, right? That's really deep. Commitment, faith, hard work, and belief. Or faith and belief are kind of the same thing, right?
I think it could be. I think they both work.
Yeah.
I feel like faith is like even bigger than belief.
Yeah. And then I think just final one would probably be strategy. Like how are you going to get there? What's your game plan? Where and why? I think the most important thing, also is just finding out the why. Why are you doing this? Why are you taking that step? What is it inside of you that's fueling you to want to have a bigger purpose in your life? And that's every step that I take. That's what I always think to myself first. Why do I want to do it? Is it going to benefit me? Why is it going to benefit me? And am I open to the changes that are going to come along the way when I take those steps? So yeah.
That was a great answer. Okay,
Thanks.
Next question. Pick your color.
Blue.
Plot twist, they're different colors on my side, so it's very hard. I'm not like wasted. Ooh, this one's kind of crazy. What is the last lie you told?
Oh my God. Can I pass?
I'll pick a different one. Okay, that was a blue. Let me do... Oh my God, you're the first person to ever pass on a question.
I can't answer that question.
Okay. As a kid, were you ever scared of a monster under your bed or in the closet?
Yes, I had a nightlight. I want to say, I'll have to double check with my parents on this, but I've had a nightlight. I'm pretty sure I still have a nightlight.
I wish I had a nightlight. I'm still scared of the dark.
I'm like terrified of the dark.
Same.
But I definitely was, but my dad, it was so cute. Every single night, and I'll always remember this. Every single night, he would come into, we'd say our prayers, like our fathers, our Hail Marys, and we'd say, bless this person, give this person strength, and all that. And then he would like rub my head until like I would fall asleep, and it was like every night, and I'd just be like, but that was like, he was kind of like my guard against the monsters, and then so.
I love that. No, I still like, if I watch a scary movie or something, or like a scary TV
I don't watch
show.
Scary movies.
Oh no, like I'm scared of like basic things. Like if I'm watching like Riverdale, like that's as scary as I get. And then I'll go to bed and I'll be like, the Black Hood's coming for me. Like, terrified. Okay, next one.
I have to pick. Pink.
If you could learn any language fluently, what would it be?
I don't know. Any language. Honestly, I would love to learn Chinese because I want to know what they're saying about me at the nail salon.
I'm dead. It's
I'm
so
sorry,
hard, right?
It'd be really bad for me to. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but like,
it's a really hard language. Not your feet. Oh my god, I'm dead. No, but that is such a hard language.
That's a hard language, and it's so amazing when I listen to it, right? And I really think it's just so fascinating, and I would just love to learn it, because also I would love to do deals with, across with China and stuff like that. So it'd be cool to learn their language and actually speak it, so they're not forced to learn English just because I don't understand that.
True. I think that that's such a great point. Also, it's like we need to be better about learning other languages, because why do we expect the whole rest of the world to know English? Like, that's so rude.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm bilingual. I speak English and Spanish, and then I started learning French. I understand French. I can't fully speak it yet. But why are we expecting others to make us feel comfortable? Yeah. In our language barriers, I should say. Let's just learn each other's things. It's okay to learn from one another. And there's not an issue. Why is there such a taboo about it? And that's just another tangent. But anyways.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Okay. The last question of these: what is the worst song in the world? I know that's hard to think. It's hard to think of it when you don't hear it. I'm sure if you heard a song and you'd be like, I hate this song.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a very big country music fan. I'm sorry for all the country music lovers out there. Sorry. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a good. I'm going to pass that.
Country.
I'm going to pass that.
Just country as a genre. The worst. You heard it here.
I personally don't like it. Yeah, I personally don't like it. That's because also I'm probably not very well educated on it. So if anyone wants to educate me on country music, I'm more than open to it.
Amazing. Okay. And our very last question: what brings out your most creative self?
What brings out my most creative self? Honestly, I think it's just my desire and my love to do what I want to do and what I'm destined to do in my life. I've never asked for a reason. I've always asked for a purpose. I've always asked for something so much higher. And whenever I ask for it, the creativeness kind of just flows. And it's kind of almost like written into my spirit and into my heart that this is where I'm going, and these are the steps that I'm going to be taking. And it fuels me to want to push to learn, to push to learn more in order to expand my vocabulary, in order to be as creative as I possibly can. I've always been very big on learn to walk before you can run. And so my walking steps are what keep me creative for when I'm going for my full sprint. So yeah.
I love that. That was so great. Okay,
Thanks.
So where can people find you? Plug everything that you have to plug.
Perfect. So you can find me on Instagram at Melissa_Westlake1. Also, I just started Wine with Mel. Oh, yes, right there. Look at it right there. Also, I just started Wine with Mel's Instagram at wine_with_Mel. You can also find me on YouTube, Wine with Mel. Hit me up, DM me, do what you want to do, say hey, give a little shout out, anything you want. I'm here.
I love it. And of course, you can always find me at Dancers Doing Stuff on Instagram. I'm slowly rolling out all the past stuff. I also just recently started that, so that it needs a lot of work. And then if you want to find my personal stuff, you can find me at Haley Grove. And of course, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's the goal. So definitely check that out. And definitely also join the Facebook group if you're on Facebook. It's trying to create just a community of people who enjoy dance. You don't have to be a dancer, but you just support dance and you want to be creative and be around people who are creative like us. So with that, I think I'm going to figure out what to do with this. I mean, honestly, it's growing on me. So maybe I will drink the rest. Not all today.
I mean, have like a piece of chocolate with it, or like a marshmallow, like a nice s'mores little concoction. I know it's snowing in New York. It's cold, so yeah.
So like, good. So good. No, honestly, it's not as bad as some wines that I've been forced. I'm tasting the chocolate now. I'm tasting it. I'm getting the red velvet vibes. The cherry. The mocha. Yes. See? I'm gonna come to LA and then I'm going to be on Wine with Mel one day. That's my goal. That's my goal.
We'll have a session.
Yes, I love it. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone go check out Melissa's everything. Subscribe to her YouTube. Subscribe to her Instagram, or what? There's too many words. Like it, follow it, subscribe, do all of that, and have a great night. Or if you're on the West Coast, have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Haley. I appreciate you.